What if I told you that the reason you're not as successful as you want to be has nothing to do with your intelligence, your circumstances, or even your work ethic? What if the real reason is buried deep in your psychology, in the way you think, the stories you tell yourself, and the unconscious patterns you've been running on autopilot for years? Success isn't just about strategy, it's about psychology. And nobody teaches you this in school. They teach you math, science, and history. But they don't teach you how your mind works, how to reprogram limiting beliefs, or how to think like a winner. Today, that changes. If you're ready to understand the hidden psychology of success and finally break through the mental barriers holding you back, hit that subscribe button right now. And let's dive deep into this. Here's the truth. Most people fail not because they don't know what to do, but because they're sabotaging themselves without even realizing it. They set goals and then subconsciously undermine them. They want success, but they're terrified of it at the same time. They say they're ready to change, but their psychology is programmed for failure. And until you understand and change your psychology, you'll keep running in circles. Today, I'm going to share with you 7 psychological principles that separate winners from everyone else. If you apply these, you won't just succeed, you'll become the type of person for whom success is inevitable. Let's go. Principle 1. Your identity determines your reality. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. Here's one of the most powerful psychological truths about success. Your results are always a reflection of your identity. If you see yourself as someone who's lazy, you'll act lazy. If you see yourself as someone who's not good with money, you'll sabotage your finances. If you see yourself as unlucky, you'll interpret everything through that lens. Most people try to change their results without changing their identity. They set goals like, I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to make more money. But deep down, they still see themselves as an overweight person or a broke person. So they might make temporary progress, but they always snap back to match their identity. Winners understand this. They don't just set goals. They become the person who naturally achieves those goals. They don't say, I want to be fit. They say, I am a fit person. And then they act accordingly. They don't say, I want to be wealthy. They say, I am someone who creates value and builds wealth. And their actions align with that identity. Your brain is hardwired to keep you consistent with your identity. If you see yourself as undisciplined, your brain will find ways to prove that's true. But if you see yourself as disciplined, your brain will work to validate that identity. This is why affirmations work when they're rooted in identity, not just outcomes. Write down the identity you need to become to achieve your goals. Not, I want to be successful. Instead, I am someone who shows up every day, learns constantly, and doesn't quit when things get hard. Read that identity statement every morning. Make decisions based on that identity. Ask yourself throughout the day, what would this version of me do right now? Then do that. Watch how your reality shifts when your identity shifts. Principle 2. You attract what you are, not what you want. Stop chasing success. Become successful, and success will chase you. Here's a psychological principle most people ignore. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. If you're negative, you attract negative people and situations. If you're disciplined, you attract opportunities that require discipline. If you're high value, you attract high value relationships and outcomes. Most people are trying to attract things they're not aligned with. They want $1 million business, but they have a minimum wage mindset. They want a loyal partner, but they're not loyal to themselves. They want respect, but they don't respect their own time and energy. This is why working on yourself is the most important work you can do. Because when you become better, your life automatically gets better. You don't have to chase opportunities, they come to you. You don't have to force relationships, the right people naturally gravitate toward you. Think about it, successful people hang out with successful people. Healthy people hang out with healthy people. Winners attract other winners. Not because they're trying to, but because like attracts like. Your external world is always a reflection of your internal world. Take an honest look at your life right now. Your relationships, your income, your health, your opportunities, they're all mirrors showing you who you are. If you don't like what you see, don't try to change the mirror, change yourself. Pick one area where you want better results. Now ask, what type of person attracts those results? Then start becoming that person today. Principle try. Your beliefs create your reality. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Your beliefs are the most powerful force in your life. They're not just thoughts. They're commands to your brain about what's possible and what's not. If you believe you're not smart enough, you won't even try. If you believe success is for other people, you'll sabotage any opportunity that comes your way. If you believe you always fail, you'll unconsciously create situations that prove that belief true. Here's what's wild. Your beliefs aren't necessarily true. They're just thoughts you've thought so many times that they feel true. Most of your limiting beliefs were installed when you were a child. A parent said you weren't good at something. A teacher told you that you'd never amount to much. A failure convinced you that you weren't capable. And you've been carrying those beliefs ever since. But winners question their beliefs. They challenge them. They ask, is this actually true? Or is this just a story I've been telling myself? And when they identify a limiting belief, they deliberately replace it with an empowering one. Your brain is designed to prove your beliefs right. If you believe life is hard, your brain will find evidence everywhere. If you believe opportunities are everywhere, your brain will find those too. It's called confirmation bias. You see what you're looking for. So if you're looking for reasons why you can't succeed, you'll find them. But if you're looking for reasons why you can, you'll find those too. Write down 3 limiting beliefs you have about yourself. Be honest. I'm not good enough. I always fail. Success isn't for people like me. Whatever they are, write them down. People with 2 if with 2.com. Now next to each one, write the opposite, empowering belief. I am enough. I learn from setbacks and keep going. Success is available to anyone willing to work for it. Read the empowering beliefs every day. Collect evidence that they're true. Your brain will start to believe what you repeatedly tell it. Principle 4. The reticular activating system. You see what you focus on. Your focus determines your reality. What you focus on expands. There's a part of your brain called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. Its job is to filter the millions of pieces of information coming at you every second and show you only what's relevant based on what you're focused on. Here's how it works. Have you ever decided you wanted a certain car, and then suddenly you see that car everywhere? The cars were always there, but your RAS started showing them to you because you told your brain they were important. The same thing happens with opportunities, solutions, and success. If you focus on problems, your RAS will show you more problems. If you focus on scarcity, you'll see scarcity everywhere. But if you focus on opportunities, your RAS will highlight opportunities. If you focus on abundance, you'll start noticing abundance all around you. Winners are intentional about what they focus on. They don't let their minds wander into negativity, doubt, and fear. They deliberately focus on their goals, their vision, and the next step forward. And their RAS goes to work finding ways to make it happen. Most people focus on what they don't want. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to fail. I don't want to be alone. And guess what their RAS shows them? More evidence of those fears. But if you flip your focus to what you do want, I am building wealth. I am learning and growing. I am attracting meaningful relationships. Your RAS starts working for you instead of against you. For the next 7 days, become hyper aware of what you're focusing on. Every time you catch yourself focusing on negativity, problems, or what you don't want, stop. Redirect your focus to what you do want. Write down your main goal and read it 3 times a day. Train your RAS to show you opportunities, solutions, and reasons to believe. Watch how your reality shifts when your focus shifts. Principle 5. The power of self-talk. You become what you tell yourself. The voice in your head is either your greatest ally or your worst enemy. You decide. You talk to yourself all day long. Most people don't even realize it. But there's a constant stream of internal dialogue running in your mind. And that dialogue is shaping your reality more than anything else. If your self-talk is negative, I'm so stupid, I always mess up, nothing ever works out for me, then that's the reality you'll create, because your brain believes what you tell it. Your subconscious doesn't judge whether your thoughts are true or false. It just accepts them and works to make them real. But winners control their self-talk. They speak to themselves the way they'd speak to someone they're trying to build up. They're their own best coach, not their own worst critic. When they mess up, they don't say, I'm a failure. They say, that didn't work. What can I learn? What? Kate. What? Kate. K2. Kate. 1. K2. Kate. K2. I'm a failure. When things get hard, they don't say, I can't do this. They say, this is hard, but I can figure it out. Your self-talk creates your self-image, and your self-image creates your results. If you talk to yourself like you're worthless, you'll act like you're worthless. But if you talk to yourself like you're capable, valuable, and destined for success, you'll start acting accordingly. For 1 full day, pay attention to your self-talk. Every time you catch yourself saying something negative about yourself, stop. Out loud, if you have to. Then, replace it with something empowering. I'm so lazy becomes I'm learning to be more disciplined. I always fail becomes I'm building resilience. Do this for 30 days, and your entire self-image will transform. Principle 6. Delayed gratification. The marshmallow test of success. The ability to delay gratification is one of the strongest predictors of success in life. There's a famous psychological study called the marshmallow test. Researchers put a marshmallow in front of a child and said, you can eat this now, or if you wait 15 minutes, you can have 2 marshmallows. Some kids ate it immediately. Others waited. Years later, they followed up with those kids. The ones who waited had better grades, better health, better careers, and better relationships. Why? Because the ability to delay gratification, to choose long-term reward over short-term pleasure, is the foundation of success. Everything worth having requires you to sacrifice now for something better later. Most people can't delay gratification. They want instant results, instant money, instant fitness, instant success. So they give up when they don't see immediate results. They eat the marshmallow every single time. But winners are willing to wait. They work for years building a business that might not pay off for a while. They work out consistently, even though results take months. They invest in their future even when it means saying no to fun today. They understand that short-term pain creates long-term gain. Every successful person has mastered delayed gratification. They've learned to prioritize their future over their present comfort. And that's why they win. Identify one area where you consistently choose instant gratification. Maybe it's spending money you should be saving. Maybe it's binge watching. instead of working on your goals. Maybe it's eating junk food instead of healthy meals. Pick one. For the next 30 days, practice delaying gratification in that area. Choose the long-term reward over the short-term pleasure. Build that muscle. That's how you become unstoppable. Principle 7. The growth mindset: failure is feedback, not final. People with a fixed mindset believe they're either good at something or they're not. People with a growth mindset believe they can improve at anything through effort. Psychologist Carol Dweck discovered something revolutionary. Your mindset about your abilities determines your success more than your actual abilities. If you have a fixed mindset, I'm just not good at math, I'm not a creative person, I don't have discipline, then you won't even try to improve because you believe it's fixed. But if you have a growth mindset, I'm not good at this yet, but I can learn. I haven't figured this out, but I will. Then every failure becomes feedback. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow. Winners have a growth mindset. They don't see failure as proof that they're not good enough. They see it as data. Okay, that didn't work. What do I need to adjust? They're not attached to being right. They're attached to getting better. Most people quit at the first sign of difficulty because they interpret struggle as a sign they're not meant to succeed. But struggle is where growth happens. If something's easy, you're not learning. If something's hard, you're expanding. Start replacing "I can't" with "I can't yet." Every time you face something difficult, say, "I haven't figured this out yet, but I will." Reframe failure as feedback. After every setback, ask yourself 3 questions. What did I learn? What will I do differently? How did this make me stronger? Do this consistently, and you'll develop an unstoppable growth mindset. Now you understand the psychology of success that nobody teaches you. 7 principles that will change not just your results, but the way you think. But here's the question. Which one of these principles are you going to implement first? Comment below and let me know which psychological shift you're committed to making. Let's build accountability together. Let me leave you with this. Success is not about working harder. It's about thinking smarter. It's about understanding the hidden psychology that drives your behavior and reprogramming it to work for you instead of against you. Most people will go their entire lives without understanding these principles. They'll stay stuck in the same patterns, wondering why they can't break through. But you're not most people, because you're here. You're learning. You're growing. You now have the psychological blueprint for success. Change your identity. Become what you want to attract. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Focus on what you want your RAS to show you. Control your self-talk. Master delayed gratification. And adopt a growth mindset. These aren't just ideas. These are the psychological foundations of every successful person on the planet. Your psychology creates your reality. Change your mind, and you change your life. It's not easy, but nothing worth having ever is. The question is, are you willing to do the internal work that creates external success? The answer to that question will determine everything. Now go. Reprogram your mind. Rewrite your story. And become unstoppable. If this video opened your eyes to the psychology of success, smash that like button, share it with someone who needs this message, and subscribe to the Champ Motivator. We're building a community of people who understand that success starts in the mind. I'll see you in the next one.